Hello YouTube, welcome back to the Bison Workshop. I'm Bob, and it's pretty early this morning. Thought I'd get up and keep up with everybody a little bit. Anyway, it is cold this morning. I mean, it's colder than a well digger's hind end. And today I'm going to embark on a project that I've already started on. And I had to do a bunch of milling. And I'm glad I didn't do any videoing on the milling, because man, that was a real aggravating job. What I'm doing is I'm making brackets, and these brackets are to mount these big round mirrors on top of these mirrors. So basically what these things are going to do is they're going to mount right there just like that, and then these mirrors are going to mount right there just like that, and that's the way the guy wants it. So I made these brackets, and I'll show you what's going on here. Let me bring you down here and we'll take a look at it. So here's what the normal brackets look like. They've got that round part right there, and that makes it a whole lot stiffer and stronger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to duplicate that, because when I flatten them, they're flat right there, because I use this in my vise, and then I mash it, and it just leaves a square there, and that makes that really weak right there. Well, these are pretty strong. Of course, this is stronger stuff too, and I made one out of copper just to get an idea of how I wanted to make it. So right there is my template, and so my buddy, the one I'm doing this job for, brought me some of this thicker galvanized metal, and we're just going to duplicate these. I've already cut these to length, and in order to do this, and I'm hoping this will work, to duplicate this, is I'm making a new set of jaws for my vise. And I'm shivering like crazy, and I got 2 heaters on in here, and it's 10 degrees outside. Yes. Got my Trump coffee and went down the wrong hole. So in order to duplicate that, what I did, let me bring you over here and show you. I made these jaws here, and when I was milling it, my fuse kept blowing on the mill, and I went through 7 fuses. When Grizzly shipped me the mill, when I blowed the fuse, I took the fuse out, and it was a 125 volt 5 amp fuse. Well, it kept blowing them. So, and that was for the motor. So I had one fuse left yesterday when I blowed that one, and I put it in, and it ran good for a while, but then my blade, I went too fast on my plunge and stopped the bit, and it blowed the fuse again. So that was my last one. So I ended up putting a breaker in it. So I actually found a breaker here that I had taken out of a floor sander or floor waxer like you'd see in Food Line, and it was rated for 125 15 amps. So I went ahead and put that in line instead of the fuse. But the book called for a 250 15 amp. I don't know why they had a 5 amp fuse in it, because heck, the motor drug it down so much before you even got started. It was already maxing out the fuse, and by the time you used it, you're ready to blow it again. But anyway, here's what I did. I made these jaws, and I made them to match the original jaws. And basically what I'm going to do is, I've got these marked. I've got 2 holes punched here, 1 hole punched here. That way I know which ones go to where. And then I put an arrow pointing to the center on this one, and an arrow pointing to the center on this one. So now when I go to make my holes over here on the side, and I'll show you what I mean, they'll line up. So basically what we're going to do to make this jig or vise jaw for this is, let me get a pencil, is I'm going to take and find me a drill bit that is the same size as this round right here, and I'm going to drill a hole in this jaw right here somewhere. And then once I've got it drilled, then I'm going to take and cut this contour right here, this angle, over to the hole. Now once I've got that done, I can chamfer that just a little bit, and then when we put the jaw on there and put our piece in, when we clamp it, it should leave this, we're hoping. So right now I've got to drill this hole. So we got that jaw off, and then we'll take this one off and put it face down on that one. So we're just going to take that one and set it just like that, and we're going to drill them together. So for now, I want to take and put these in here. Man, it is cold. Make sure they're good and lined up. Actually, I want to do it on the two hole side, because I want my piece to be on this side. I guess it wouldn't matter, they'll go either way, but I'm being particular. Alright, in order to drill this, I'm going to go ahead and put this in the, or clamp this, so that when I go to put it in the drill press vise, I can just set it there and drill my hole. So now we want to find out what size hole we're going to use, and I'm going to put you back over on the bench. So now we know what side we want that hole on. we're going to try to find us a bit that's going to be close to that size. And I actually already have it in the drill press. So let's see here. So what we're going to do is set that there, and we're going to bring the edge of the jaw to the edge of where that point is, and then we're going to mark that a roundabout right there. So we're going to drill our hole right here in the center. So I'm going to drill that, and we'll be right back. Alright, so now we've got that, and we're just going to take our grinder and we're going to do a V in that. Alright guys, we decided to do something a little different today. This here is one of the end mills that Matt sent me, and I thought that I would do this in the mill instead of doing it on the bandsaw. So basically what I did was I took one of my 1, 2, 3 blocks and put it up there to the corner and lined it up with the hole. So now when I go straight down with it and mill it back and forth, once I get down to the edge of that hole, I'll be done right here. So then all I have to do is just flip it and do the same thing. So we're going to go ahead and start setting this up, and get it down to where we want it to start off with, and back it off, and we'll get started. So now we've got one side there, and I need to take the grinder, just because I went a little too far with the end mill. So I've got a little lip there I got to get rid of. So now we'll take this and turn it around. And I need to move my vise out a little bit because I can't get full travel to the edge of, to the end of my blade or jaw. And it's not going all the way, so I'm just lucky that it's at the very center point of the bit. So now we'll turn that over. Put that in, clean that jaw off, put my 1, 2, 3 block in, and measure it again. I'll turn my vise or thing around there. And we'll do this again. This time I'm going to try to get a little bit further back away from it. Yeah, that'll work. So now, like my hands here, and we'll do her again. Alright, there we got it. Now let's take it over there and clean it up a little bit on the vise and file it. Now I might have to make 2 different size ones, but we'll go over here and clean it up on the vise. Alright, now let's get us a piece of bar and try this out. I'm just going to use this piece right here, and we'll just squash this one side and see if, now you see how that is, it's square. And we're going to try to find center here. And then we're going to squeeze that and see if it works. Look at there. It worked. I'd had a little off center, but that's better than what it was. So now, let's go over here and get our other piece. And find out where we want to put it. So we're going to do it about right there. So now we want to make sure we're in center. Alright, just squeeze her down. This is galvanized, this is going to be a little harder to squeeze. And there we got our round. And I still got it off center. Alright, then we're just taking flatten that a little bit more. And nice and flat. It's got the round part in it. It ain't the best looking, but it's better than the square straight across. So now we'll go ahead and do this side. And you want to make sure that you're square, because you want this to be the same as this one. Alright. Well, probably should have went a little further with that one. Yeah, I wonder if I can go in a little deeper. That's going to be interesting. It worked. And there you have it. You see the difference between the two? So now we've got a new bracket, and I'll go ahead and squeeze that one, and I'll meet you at the bench. Alright, so now we've got our two brackets made, and we've got one mirror in here, so we can go ahead and put one of these together, and then the other side we'll have to take outside to put on, and then I'll just show you what it looks like after we're done. So basically let's go ahead and put our mirror on first. Tighten that down. Then Put this on. And there you have it. And this one here will come off. Actually, I'll just leave it on there in case he wants to leave it on there. It should be down here, but this was off of the driver's side and this is going on the passenger side, so it's going to have to go like that. And I probably got you all out of frame here. So there you have the mirror setup. Now it needs adjusted and everything, and I also need to round that off just a little bit, like they did on theirs. So we'll round that off, and on both sides, and but that's how you make those round divots. Now you can make that a sharper V. They did theirs just a little bit different. They had a clamp on the bottom side to push in while this one's out, but mine's that way on both sides, so I had plenty of room in behind there to do that, so I could do that like that. And that's going to be a whole lot stiffer than that old copper, so it ain't going to be sitting there doing all this vibration going down the road. I hate a vibrating mirror, and that's the way he wanted it, so that's how he gets it. Anyway, there you have it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, and hope you guys stay warm today. I know my toes are froze, man. I've been talking to Matt there on the phone while I was trying to do this job, and he said it was 1 degree below zero where he's at. He's in Illinois, or Indiana, so it's about 9 degrees here. It ain't as cold as it is where he's at. But anyway, you guys have a good one. Later.